Hey everyone, this is Will here with Flow Trade FX, and as I promised in the previous video, I'm going to be mapping out a few charts from the actual market. So what we have here is the GBP USD. So with the GBP USD, we have these different levels right here, and actually you're going to see these line period separators, as I mentioned in the past, which help you to separate and calculate the days. And as I mentioned, we only need about 4 to 5, maybe 6 days of price action to be able to map up the charts, because they have usually a very short memory span for the intraday charts. So let's get to it, and we'll start here with by counting back. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be the 6th day. We're going to just make a little level right here, and this is where price actually, this is the highest that price has been over these last few days, and we'll mark this out right here, right there. So that's ultimately the high. After that high was made, price ran all the way down here where price created this level. Created this level. And then came up here, reacted on this smaller intraday level before coming back to this level and breaking through it entirely. So since this level was broken at this point, it came up here, creating the newest swing high. We'll leave that one there. And then as price came back down here, broke through this level, now breaking through it one time after respecting it twice, and then came back actually and broke through it again, and then bounced off this level before going down to create this swing low right here. Now this is actually the lowest that we've been this week, and like we said with the other rules, after the market has broken through a price level 2 times, it is now invalid. So just how we seen with this level, how it was taken out once here and then came back here, but price halted here, this level was effectively invalid at this point. So we're no longer going to be using this level to base our trading decisions off of. We're now going to respect this level at this point, given that we're going to assume this hasn't happened yet at this point. So we're going to see price came down here, and rather than breaking lower, it came back to retest this level. And obviously we see that the price broke through, but at the time we would mainly just be seeing this level coming back into play, where we're going to be waiting to see if there's a reaction on this level or not. At this moment, we only have one breakthrough, so we are going to just extend this a little bit more that way to see if price is going to come and react off this level again. Instead, price came here, in which it broke through this level one time, and it almost seemed as if it was heading all the way up here, which it did not. But before it did, it died out and started coming back down to this level. And okay, we recognize this level. We remember this level from earlier in the week. So we'll extend it out. Price did give a little reaction off of it before breaking down below it for the second time, which would invalidate this level right here. And after that, price came down to make this low. So here we have this low area, we have this swing high right here, which I'm going to move this swing high down to here, because at any rate, there's still a lot of market ground to cover between this level and this level. And if price were to get all the way through this level, then coming up to this level, we'd be able to catch a reaction and notice a reaction based on the failure to come down here, or the idea that we get a bounce off this level and continue the trend to the upside, for us targeting this level right here. So I would say that our key levels for this specific chart would be this bottom layer, this bottom level right here, where price has reacted off of, this top level right here, where price has hit a sort of resistance, and now we are in between these two levels, creating this smaller level, which is where price just closed at for the previous day. So that's pretty much it for this chart. Very simple. We're not going to be clustering it up with too many lines. As I said, 3 lines is usually what you'll come across. 4 lines, maybe. Sometimes you'll just experience 2 lines if the market is in a very tight range. In this case, for the GBP USD, we have a fairly wider range. It's maybe not the best clearest setup, but at any rate, we have went through this chart and simply broke it down, spotting the intra-week levels of support and resistance, the different swing highs and swing lows, and the areas where we will be paying attention at to see reactions, to find out where the market is going to flow next and potentially take those trading opportunities. But let's just do another chart. I'm not sure. Let's see. Doesn't even matter. We're just gonna pick some random ones. Let's see, USDJPY. Let's check that out. All right, my head was blocking that one. Apologies. All right, so let's count it out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have roughly 6 days of price action right here, where we're going to be able to draw our lines. Still, this day hasn't been broken twice. It's only been broken once. So we're going to draw that level and extend it all the way out. We also, after that high was made, we got this level down here, which wasn't really significant because it just ended up coming all the way down here and actually closing for the day roughly around this area. But at any rate, this was the swing low at the moment, so we would draw that because it is the swing low. And as price came up here to this next level, right around this area, we see price give out and fall towards the bottom. And that would be where this price level was broken through once and twice and created a new low for us with this one right below here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, cool. So we got that new level right below there. Price came from here, ended up really breaking through this level and didn't show much reaction at that level. It really boosted through with some momentum, but at any rate, it still hasn't been broken. We can't expect the market to be perfect. In real life examples, we have this, and it came within 2 pips of actually this level, and this one actually seems to like it broke through and maybe touched it. And this is what we're going to really be paying attention to. I'm not going to touch too much on it on this video, but these types of price patterns right here, where we get a breakout, a pullback, and a continuation, those are exactly the type of like trading setups that we're going to be taking with this system. And it's actually going to be relatively simple to adopt and use, but that'll be for a later video. as of now, we're just going to be continuing to see what we can find as far as support, swing highs, and swing lows. Okay, so we have this level right here. We have this level right here. We had a nice run up for the last few days that came up here to about here. I wouldn't really mark that level. It's kind of a more insignificant, smaller type of like intraday level. It wasn't actually a major level, so we're not actually going to mark that one off. But now that prices ran up here considerably, it's unlikely that price will get back down here within a day. But for the last day, like for the last few days, it's still fairly relevant given it's only been 1, 2, 3, 4 days. It's almost on the 5th day. The 6th day, we'll definitely consider it old news. Not to say you can't still get reactions off the higher time frames, which may still hold that level valid, but for this system specifically, we're going to be using the 1 hour time frame to make sure that we are able to map our charts out, and when we get reactions off these levels, we should be able to get in and close out our trades within the trading day. We shouldn't be waiting multiple days to close out a position. It should be fairly simple. Now, as I said, this level is still relevant, so we're going to just move it all the way out here, and then we're going to just draw one more level, which is the high where price has so these are the lines that we're looking at so far for this specific chart. And sometimes you get setups like these where price is all the way here, almost at one extreme of the whole range, and then you have all this down here. But these are going to be your guides to where if we do get price reacting back down to this level, because we're going to be trading breakouts, so we're going to be looking to get in on these charts, like how we have this here. We would wait for the breakout, a pullback, and a continuation so that we can get in on these trades. And we're not going to be trading reversals necessarily with this system yet. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that at a later video. But what we're going to be doing at this point specifically is trading the breakouts. So as price comes down into these levels, you're either going to get a breakout to the downside, or you're going to come back and get a reaction to this level and get a breakout to the upside. And we're going to keep it really simple. We're not going to be looking to guess where the market is going. No, we're going to be trading with the flow of the market using price action as our leading indicator. And I would say that pretty much wraps it up for USDJPY. We'll do a couple more. Let's see. We have the Australian dollar versus the United States dollar. And we'll break this one down too. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of price action. This is a nice one. This is like price is really within a range here, so we're really only going to get like maybe 2, 3 levels at max that we're going to be drawing on this, but it's going to be relatively simple. So we have one level right here, and I call this a level more than or like an area more than a level, just because we have the market isn't perfect. It doesn't always just match up and line up to the pip. Like in this situation, you have this level right here, and you have this level right here where market pretty much gave out around the same area, minus let's see, so it was less than 5 pips away. So with situations like that, it's 5 pips. I'm not gonna really like nitpick over 5 pips when it comes down to setting this, but the sharper the bounces or the sharper the lineups are for these swing highs and swing lows, the better and more accurate your trading signals will be, essentially. And you want to be getting the best signals that you can when it comes down to analyzing these charts, because that's where you're going to be placing your trades at. And if you have the wrong level, or you're like skewed, or you're putting the wrong support and resistance levels down, then you can easily see how that would impact your whole performance for the system. So what you're going to want to do is really pay attention to make sure that you have the right understanding of how to place your support and resistance, your swing highs and swing lows, to make sure you get the most accurate signals as possible. So with that said, we have the top level that actually topped out 2 times, and then we have this nice bottom level which came and touched about 3 times right here. Yeah, a good 3 times, and that should be able to define both of these areas over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And more recently, we've had these smaller levels. They've been broken several times as price came up and did this and then came back down to do that. It pretty much made most of these levels fairly insignificant, and I wouldn't really base too much of my trading decisions off of these levels. This right here is actually interesting considering price came down to the 72362 area, and we see here that the key level is the 72248 level. So it wasn't quite there to the pip. It was still about 10 pips off. And in situations like that, I feel like 10 pips is pretty significant. But if it was like 5 or 3 pips or something along those lines, then I would say it pretty much lined up and touched the 4th time. But that's 10 pips. That's just a little bit too far, especially considering how the price actually rose afterwards and came back around this level. I would definitely not consider that a 4th touch to this level, but we are very close to it, and it would be interesting to see how price will react off of these levels if we're going to get another bounce to this level over the next day or two, and then see if we're going to get the breakout to the downside, or if price is going to rally and continue to come back up here and retest this level. Then if we are going to get a new swing high or break through this level and be able to trade a bounce off this level to the upside for a potential bullish run. That's pretty much it for this AUDUSD. It's pretty simple. We have just 2 levels, and I guess we can count this 3rd one since this is where the market closed at, and it's a little bit higher than the other one. But again, it's really only about 10 pips away, which is significant, but it's, at this point, we're not going to nitpick too much, but I'm going to draw it just because. And then we have one more small level right here where the market has closed at the other day. And that pretty much just defines it for these 2 right here. And you have these extremes right here, which we can use those 2 levels. We have almost a smaller range being formed potentially right here, where price will either break through these areas or hold these areas and then come down to create more moves. But these are not the areas that we'd be trading from. We'd be truly looking to just get reactions off of this, because as you see, the market can get very wispy between these areas and it's filled with more whipsaws and uncertainty. We want to be looking for opportunities where we're going to be getting breakouts with momentum to continue our trades in the right direction. So that pretty much does it for AUDUSD. We have these 2 major levels, the lower end and the higher end. This one acting as resistance, this one acting as support. If we were to get a level down here, remember we're going to be trading breakouts, which is with the market flow. So we're going to be looking to see if momentum picks up and we get a break to the downside below this area right here, or if we get a rise to this upper resistance area, or we can potentially see a breakout to the upside. Let's do another one. Let's see. I don't know. View CAD. Let's look at the CAD. Okay, so I have some lines here that I previously drew. Let's get rid of those and start up with some new lines. All right. So we're going to look at the last 5 to 6 days. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So on the 6th day, we have this one support level, which as we see now, it's extremely significant as we've gotten several reactions from it. And we have this high that was formed here. Now, these are two extremes, and they're definitely many pips apart from one another. So at any rate, I'm not going to put as much emphasis on price's reaction off this level, as there should be many other levels within this area as benchmarks to be seeking price reaction before just assuming that price has to go here. So let's break it down and get into it. So we have this low level that was formed after this long rally right there. Oop. So we have that level. Straighten that up a little bit. We have that level. I'm drawing it at the wick because that was actually the lowest level, like the lowest point of that swing. And then here we have a run up where price came up here and it didn't quite break through to meet this level right here. It turned around and came back. So we've seen several moves along this area, along this way, where price eventually comes back down to near this level and ends up breaking through it and shooting way below it and coming back up to break above it yet again. So with this situation, we're going to go ahead and move this level now to here. And then we're going to also, since price failed to make it all the way up there, we're going to go ahead and put this level right here. We're going to extend this level over more. And as you see, price went from this level all the way down here, broke below it, and touched back down to this initial level that we made several days ago. As price reacted off of that level, we got a break through this level right here, and price ended up swinging up to here. So price ended up swinging up to this level and has again reacted off of this level right here, this lower support zone. So now we have 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, about 4 touches off of this level. And this is currently the 4th touch off this level, where we can either see momentum come through, break below, and touch this level again from the bottom side and continue to drop lower, or we can have price come back up here and react off this level to the upside and give us a breakout, and we can see to follow price as it achieves higher highs and creates new levels and hits these other upper levels. That pretty much does it for this chart. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. This is just the last several days. We have about 4 lines here, which is perfectly fine. We have many different levels in which we, can see price's reaction towards the upside. And at this moment, I would definitely say that this lower section right here is definitely the key area of the week. And I would look to see reactions off of here. Given we've gotten this reaction right here so far, we've gotten this reaction right here that has brought the market all the way up here, and we may be getting a fourth reaction here. I would like to see what this reaction is going to be, whether it's going to be the bounce or it's going to be the break below. That pretty much does it for you, CAD. As you see, it's getting pretty simple to just go through these charts at this point and just find the ones that, and just set up the proper support and resistance levels. Let's see. We could do another one. I don't know. USDCHF. Keep it pretty simple. Here we can count out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have about 6 days of price action here. We have a high that was made where price touched several times and failed to break higher. So we can put this level right here as one. Price swung down and created this level right here. We have the swing high of it, which seems to be still affecting, and then you have the swing low. It's a fairly tight range, so we're just going to draw the swing low right there. Oh. All right, so we have that. We have the high of the range. We have the midpoint right here where price swung down and created a support level in which price reacted off the support level and broke through, continuing the downtrend right here, created another low at this point in which price reacted up, came as if almost to head towards the previous swing low, and instead boosted down below through that level, creating another swing low. So with this swing low, price reacted and came back up to test the swing low of the previous that hasn't been previously broken, and it reacted off that level to the downside and came back to what is now appearing to be a range. And it's a fairly tight range where prices came down to touch it. 1, 2, how many pips is that away? We have the 92,170 and the 92,209. Okay, so that's only about 5 pips away. I would say that's pretty close to another touch to this zone specifically. And right now we're kind of just in between these two levels. No need to really draw too many lines for this specific chart. We have the USDCHF, which has experienced a bit of a downturn and has failed to break higher. It's currently in between these two brackets right here. The area where price is currently being held between 92,719 and we have the 92,167. As we see a price break out either to the upside above this 92.7 area, we will find a opportunity to trade higher, or if we get a break below the 92.17, we should be able to find opportunities to trade and continue the market below. And that pretty much does it for the USDCHF. There's not too many levels. There's like a little bit of an intraday level right here, which is fairly close. Excuse me. Which is fairly close to this level right here, which is why I didn't draw it. Although if we were to mark that level, excuse me. we would see that price has reacted off of it almost 2-3 times during the intraday, and one of those was after reacting off of this lower 92.17 area. So this is pretty much just going to be the only lines we're going to draw for this chart. We have the highest resistance area, the swing high. We have a swing low right here, which has been retested from the downside, where price continued to break below. And then we have this area right here where price is currently bracketed between, which is creating the lowest swing low of this range. And if we were to see a break to the downside or a reaction breakout to the upside, we would definitely be looking for opportunities within these ranges. When it comes down to any more charts, let's see. We can do one more. Let's check out something that's a little bit different. Okay, we'll go with the Euro Yen. So we have 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and 6 days. So with this 6th day, we have a nice sharp turn right here. Very sharp turn. And we'll mark that one to about this point. And I'll speak on that why in a second. And then we have, after that, nice sharp turn. I'm recording for 30 minutes on this one video. Show some content. Same, bro. Same, bro. Man. All right. So we have this swing high right here. Very sharp turn that has happened right there. Price came down, has retested and created this swing low, a bounce area that we will extend out to here for now. It's not exactly straight, but let me see. That should do it. So we have this bounce area where price bounced over it, bounced off of this area, came back below it, broke through it, did a small pullback. It didn't quite touch, so I wouldn't call it a pullback exactly. Very shallow one at that. Then broke below, created a new swing low, which was taken out here, broken several times. So we can invalidate that. Then you have this area where price has created a little bit of a high, a swing high. So we will put this line right here. Since this was never retested and that was not a valid breakout, then that was just momentum, and it actually created its real low down here and made a swing high up to about this point, where we can see that price came back down to make this ultimate low, and then actually retested this one and broke down to the downside. Price was seemingly within a range, but it wasn't a tight range, and it didn't quite make that second tap to this area. And this was ultimately broken a third time. So we'll move this down here to where this is now the current low. You have this area which has now been broken once. It wasn't exactly respected. It was maybe 10 to 12 pips away. So that's not exactly a quick poke through anymore. That's 10 to 15 pips. I would say this level is now invalidated because it broke it to the downside and to the upside. With that said, I would consider moving this level now, that this be the high of the structure. This will be the low of the structure. And then we also have this smaller intraweek area, which it's pretty much just the most recent swing low, which we can find reactions off of. And since there's so much space between the downside and the upside, I would say that our key level is going to be this level which we're closest to. We're either going to get a bounce off of this level, but like I said, we're trading in the direction of the market flow. So I would like to see a breakout above this level to the upside, a pullback, potentially a continuation. But if we don't get that, then the only next reaction we would get would be potentially this level right here, or which would also be setting our targets down here and down here. But if we were to continue breaking out to the upside, we would wait for a breakout of this level. And as I mentioned, I'll go over the entry methods and what our entry signals will be in a later video. But for right now, these are just pretty much the levels that we're seeing. Why not? I'll draw this level here as well, just for the sake of it. I'll just draw this one level here. Let's move that up, make sure it's to the pip of it better. And that's it. We have these 4 levels right here, where price is now in between these right here. And I won't be surprised to see if price were to continue to the upside, breakout, a pullback, and a continuation. Otherwise, it would be pretty much up to seeing how the market reacts to these levels in any event. We will see how it goes when it happens. As of right now, we've marked up all of our intra-week levels for all these charts that we've just looked over. So that's pretty much going to be it for these specific charts. I'll do a few more examples on a later video, but for right now, we're just going to be going over that, and that pretty much does it for these videos. I thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video.